The champagne tasted unusually bitter as I watched my fiancé's lips meet hers. Not a friendly, casual kiss, but the kind that changes everything, rewriting the very history we shared. I tugged nervously at my black cocktail dress, suddenly feeling completely out of place at the law firm's lavish anniversary celebration. Just a few hours earlier, everything had seemed perfect. My hair was styled in soft waves that Ethan claimed he adored, and my engagement rings sparkled brilliantly every time I moved my hand, drawing admiring glances from guests. Throughout the evening, the firm's senior partners had introduced me proudly as the brilliant digital forensic expert and Ethan's better half. It had filled me with pride to stand beside him, knowing tonight would mark his announcement as the newest partner at the firm. The grand ballroom of the Plaza Hotel glittered with ambition. Crystal chandeliers cascading dazzling reflections across the faces of the city's legal elite. For weeks I'd helped Ethan rehearse his speech, believing this celebration was meant for both of us, a step toward our shared future. As I approached Ethan's conversation circle, his boss Jonathan smiled warmly. "Olivia, I was just telling Richard about your exceptional work on the Henderson case. He said we might need your expertise again soon." I smiled graciously, effortlessly joining their discussion and explaining how I traced crucial digital evidence overlooked by others. Ethan placed his hand gently on my lower back, a familiar gesture that usually reassured me, but tonight felt oddly possessive rather than comforting. "Quite the power couple," someone remarked, raising a glass. It was then that my eyes first settled on Vanessa, Ethan's ex from law school. Recently hired by BDF Tech, one of the firm's largest clients, she wore a striking red dress, clearly designed to stand out amid the sea of subdued blacks and navy suits. Her mere presence shifted something intangible in the atmosphere. Or perhaps it was only Ethan who was affected. His hand slipped from my back and his attention scattered. "Isn't that Vanessa?" I asked softly, carefully maintaining a neutral tone. "Is it? I hadn't noticed." Ethan replied quickly, his gaze deliberately avoiding mine. But throughout the evening, I caught them exchanging subtle glances across the room. At one point, when they thought no one was watching, their fingers lingered together while reaching for drinks longer than seemed appropriate for mere colleagues. They shared whispered exchanges that made her touch his arm, while he leaned in closer than professionalism dictated. Each small detail stacked like clues in a file, and my forensic instincts couldn't ignore the accumulating evidence. Yet, despite the clarity of the facts, a part of me stubbornly refused to believe what they implied. "Ethan seems distracted tonight," Jonathan noted quietly as we discussed a potential security contract. "Big night, I suppose. Nerves must be getting to him." "Must be," I replied evenly, watching Ethan discreetly check his phone before slipping away through a side exit. Vanessa followed a few moments later. "Would you excuse me?" I said politely to Jonathan. "I should wish Ethan good luck before his speech." Jonathan nodded knowingly. Of course. Partners always need support during these moments. My heart began to race as I moved swiftly through the glittering crowd, smiling briefly at familiar faces, reaching a service corridor beyond the ballroom. I paused at the sound of hushed voices. Years of meticulous documentation had ingrained a reflex within me. I instinctively pulled out my phone and activated the recording app before moving closer. "We can't keep doing this," Ethan whispered urgently. "She's right outside." "You promised you'd end it," Vanessa replied impatiently. "It's been months, Ethan. How much longer? The timing isn't right." "Partnership announcements are coming," Ethan protested quietly. "It's always something," she sighed bitterly. "First it was your mother's birthday, then the house deposit, and now this partnership. Meanwhile, I'm hiding in plain sight." I pressed my back against the corridor wall, gripping the phone tighter as Ethan's voice dropped further. "After tonight things will change," he promised her gently. "Once I make partner, I'll have stability. I can break it to her slowly." "And us?" Vanessa asked sharply. "What about our weekend at the cabin?" "I'll tell her it's a work retreat," Ethan said reassuringly. My free hand reached instinctively toward the engagement ring Ethan had given me just 6 months earlier. 3 months' salary, he'd proudly told our friends, a symbol of his commitment. All the while he'd been planning secret weekends away with her. "She suspects nothing?" Vanessa questioned softly. Ethan laughed quietly, the sound cutting deep. "Olivia's brilliant with computers, but she's trusting to a fault. She believes whatever I tell her." Their conversation ceased abruptly, but my feet felt rooted in place. With great effort, I forced myself to glance around the corner. The scene etched itself painfully into my memory. Ethan pressing Vanessa firmly against the wall. Their kiss clearly familiar, intimate and practiced. He cradled her face tenderly, exactly as he had touched mine just that morning. A chilling clarity washed through me. There were no tears, no screams, only a strange calm focus. The very state I entered when working difficult forensic cases. Silently I stepped back, stopped recording and returned to the crowded ballroom. "Found him?" Jonathan asked casually as I rejoined the group. "Not yet," I answered smoothly, seamlessly redirecting the conversation. "But I'd like to discuss those security protocols further. I have some suggestions that might be of interest." For the next 15 minutes, I methodically outlined a detailed security plan for Jonathan and 2 senior partners. My voice steady, my logic precise. Yet inside I was systematically packing away 5 years of love and trust, carefully cataloging each lie and deceit and formulating my exit strategy. "You've given us plenty to think about," Jonathan said. Impressed. "Let's schedule a formal meeting next week." I nodded politely, excusing myself as Ethan re-entered the ballroom, discreetly adjusting his tie. Vanessa emerged from another doorway shortly after, reapplying fresh lipstick as if nothing had happened. In the marble elegance of the bathroom, I leaned against the cool countertop, studying my reflection. The woman staring back appeared surprisingly calm for someone whose life had just fallen apart. Following my mother's calming technique, I splashed cold water onto my wrists and took 3 deep breaths. Finally, with quiet determination, I removed the diamond ring from my finger, placing it carefully into my clutch. 5 years of shared dreams and plans reduced to a small hard stone resting silently in velvet. Before moving in with Ethan, I sent a text to Maya, my roommate. Within minutes, our old emergency code titanium coin during our college days flashed up on my screen. Soon after, my phone rang, hiding in the seclusion of an empty bathroom. I answered, switching to speaker mode. "Olivia, thank God I reached you," Maya's voice echoed, laced with practiced concern. "The server's been compromised and client files are exposed. We need you immediately." "Give me 20 minutes, I replied loudly, just as another woman entered the bathroom. Leaving the bathroom, I returned to the ballroom where I found Ethan mingling with colleagues, his arm nonchalantly resting on the back of Vanessa's chair as if it naturally belonged there. "Ethan, there's an emergency at work. Server breach. I need to leave," I explained. His face registered a moment of confusion before shifting to relief. "Can't someone else handle it? We have $1 million client's data at risk," he questioned. "I'm on it," I said, already moving away. "Take care of your speech." But he started. "You've got this," I assured him confidently and left without a goodbye, unwilling to taste her lipstick on his lips. Outside, the brisk night air greeted me as I hopped into a taxi. Ethan's message popped up on my phone asking about the security contract. Just as my boss inquired about it, glancing back at the glittering hotel, I realized my fiancé was busy building a future with another woman. Dismantling ours simultaneously. Typing swiftly, I responded out of reach just like the contract before disabling my location sharing, removing the engagement ring and dropping it into the taxi's tip jar. The driver, catching my eye in the rearview mirror, asked if I had a rough night. "No," I replied as the hotel faded into the distance. Just the end of one chapter. Maya was waiting in our old apartment, armed with wine, chocolate ice cream, and a look of resolve that softened upon seeing me after 5 years of friendship. She knew the signs others missed: my overly straight posture, controlled breathing, and notably the absence of my ring. "How bad is it?" she inquired, handing me a glass. "Digital evidence level bad," I responded, sinking into the couch and initiating the playback of the recording without preamble. Ethan's voice filled the room, discussing weekend getaways while I was busy planning our wedding. When the recording ended, Maya refilled my glass without asking. "I'll help you bury the body," she joked. Despite everything, a sharp laugh escaped me. A release from the cold rage building within. "No bodies. Something more fitting for a digital forensics expert," I declared, retrieving my laptop from the spare room, the room I had left behind when moving in with Ethan. We had often joked about Protocol Ghost, my plan for clients needing to disappear electronically during breakups, but never seriously. Now, as I began erasing my digital footprint, disabling location services, suspending social media accounts, setting up auto-forwarding rules and changing passwords, it was all too real. "He'll panic when he can't find you," Maya noted, watching me work. "Good," I replied, connecting my phone to the laptop and downloading every interaction with Ethan from the past 6 months. A buzz at the door signaled the arrival of my stress meal. Spicy noodles and dumplings. Just as I scrutinized the party footage more carefully. Look at her hand position. I pointed out to Maya. That's his move. He's been using it since college. As we ate, I mapped out a timeline. Vanessa had joined Ethan's company 3 months ago, coinciding with his late nights and unverifiable weekend conferences. The realization stung. You trusted him because that's what people do in relationships. Maya reassured me. Meanwhile, Ethan's messages piled up, each more frantic than the last. His concern more about control than my well-being. Delving deeper, I discovered regular cash withdrawals and unaccounted charges. He's been siphoning money from our savings. Nearly $15,500. I revealed the pieces of betrayal falling into place. This was more than infidelity. It was financial deception, potentially even embezzlement. I needed legal advice. Texting Caroline, a friend from law school now specializing in family law. I arranged an urgent consultation. Bring documentation and chocolate, she replied. By midnight, my new chapter was already taking shape. Ethan's messages had grown frantic. At 11:23 p.m. he texted, "I'm at home. Your things are here but you're not. What's going on?" By 11:47 p.m. his tone escalated. "I've called hospitals. Please tell me you're okay." At the stroke of midnight he added, "Is this about Vanessa? It's not what you think." Dismissing his predictable defense, I placed my phone face down on the coffee table. "Tomorrow. I'm taking personal leave from work due to a family emergency." "I announced you are family, Maya," she said firmly. "And this is definitely an emergency." We transformed her dining room into our makeshift command center with laptops open and documents strewn across the table. As midnight turned into morning, wine gave way to coffee. I worked methodically as I would with complex legal cases, gathering evidence, establishing patterns, and building an irrefutable case. "What do you actually want from this?" Mir inquired as we sifted through financial records. Revenge, money, or just to be free of him? Her question made me pause. Beneath my anger, a clearer motivation emerged. Justice, not revenge. I want consequences proportional to actions. And I want to reclaim my dignity, I affirmed. Maya nodded in approval. Ghost protocol with accountability. I like it. At 2 a.m. my phone rang. It was Ethan's mother, Eleanor. She had been like a second mother to me after my own passed away. Should I answer? I asked Maya. He probably called her when he couldn't reach you. Using her to get to you is manipulative, she advised. I sent the call to voicemail but listened to the message immediately. Olivia, dear, it's Eleanor. Ethan's worried sick about you. He says there's been a misunderstanding. Please call me back so I know you're safe. We love you. The genuine concern in her voice brought tears to my eyes. She didn't know the extent of her son's deceit. Another casualty of his lies. I'll text her tomorrow to say I'm safe. I decided. By morning, Ethan had called 27 times and left 14 voicemails. His latest text threatened. I'm filing a missing person report if I don't hear from you by noon. He wouldn't, Maya remarked, peering over my shoulder. He might. His image is everything. I drafted a response, deleted it, and started again. Finally, I sent, I'm safe. Don't contact me for 48 hours. Don't file any reports. His reply came instantly. Where are you? We need to talk. I turned off my phone. After a quick shower and change into clothes Maya had in her spare room, I prepared for my meeting with Caroline. All evidence was organized, backed up, and secured on an encrypted drive. What should I tell people at work? Maya asked as she got ready to leave for her job at the same digital security firm where I worked that I had a family emergency and will be taking personal leave, nothing more. And if Ethan calls the office, ghost protocol applies to work too. They'll follow communication blackout procedures. As Maya left, she hugged me tightly. He underestimated who he was dealing with. Alone in the apartment, I felt the weight of the past 12 hours settle over me. The apartment was quiet, save for the hum of my laptop and the occasional notification from my work email. I allowed myself 5 minutes to feel everything: the betrayal, loss, anger, and beneath it all, a strange sense of relief. It was as if part of me had been waiting for this moment, for the truth to finally break through. Then I straightened my shoulders, closed the personal email showing Ethan's latest attempt to reach me, and opened my case notes document. At the top I typed a new heading: Case 00001, The Disappearance of Olivia. Below it I added a simple objective statement. Subject will be held accountable for actions through legal and professional channels. No collateral damage to innocent parties, actions taken out of justice, not revenge. My doorbell rang at 9:30 a.m. Through the peephole, I saw Caroline holding coffee and a briefcase. When I opened the door, she assessed me with the sharp eyes of someone who had seen countless relationship implosions. "You look surprisingly composed for someone whose world just collapsed," she noted, handing me a coffee. "I'm saving my breakdown for after the strategy session," I replied, welcoming her into Command Central. "I need options before emotions." Caroline surveyed the evidence wall we had created, the financial documents, the recording transcripts. Her expression shifted from professional concern to personal outrage. "Well," she said, setting down her briefcase, "he certainly chose the wrong woman to betray." My meeting with Caroline stretched from 1 hour to 3 as we dissected every aspect of Ethan's betrayal. The personal lies were devastating, but the financial discrepancies raised serious legal questions. "These client billing anomalies," Caroline said, tapping my spreadsheet, "could potentially be construed as embezzlement. Small amounts consistently skimmed add up to a pattern of fraud." I explained that the timing aligned with his weekend trips. "The cabin rental appears right after deposits from Crawford Industries," I said. Caroline made detailed notes, her experienced eyes catching nuances I had missed. "The partnership committee would be very interested in this information. Law firms take financial impropriety extremely seriously." "I don't want to destroy him," I clarified. "I just want accountability." Caroline nodded and outlined several approaches from quiet separation to full legal action. "The engagement ring was legally mine as a gift, but I had no interest in keeping it. The joint savings account is concerning," she noted. "He's been systematically moving funds. I recommend immediate financial separation." By the time Caroline left, we had a clear 3-phase plan. Secure my assets and document everything. Strategically release information to key parties and only if necessary. Proceed with formal legal proceedings. I followed her to the door, feeling more grounded than I had since seeing that kiss. "One more thing," Caroline said, turning back. "Change your routine completely. New coffee shops, grocery stores, gym times. People like Ethan hate losing control of the narrative. He'll look for you in familiar places." After she left, I implemented her financial advice immediately, separating my personal accounts from our joint ones and documenting the transfers Ethan had made. I left exactly half the joint savings untouched. Not a penny more or less than what was fairly mine. When my work phone rang, displaying my boss Jim's number, I hesitated before answering. "Olivia, is everything all right?" "Maya mentioned a family emergency," he inquired. I responded carefully. "I'm dealing with a personal situation and have submitted the paperwork for emergency leave." Jim replied understandingly. "Of course, take the time you need." After a pause, he added, "Ethan called looking for you." He seemed quite concerned. My stomach tightened. "Did he mention why?" I asked. "Just that he couldn't reach you." "Should I be worried?" "No," I stated firmly. "This is between Ethan and me. I'd appreciate your discretion." "Understood," Jim said. He then shifted the topic. "By the way, Bradford and Mercer reached out about that security consultation. Apparently you impressed them at the party." I was surprised they had called so soon. "I'm not in a position to take on new projects right now," I began. Jim interrupted. "They're offering triple your standard rate and they specifically requested you for your innovative approaches to digital evidence." An idea formed. "Would they consider a remote consultation? I'll be working from a different location for a while." I suggested. "I'll ask. Take care of yourself, Olivia." As I hung up, my personal phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. "Jenna. Please call me using my work phone. Ethan's sister." Over the years we'd grown close, bonding over our shared love of true crime podcasts and gardening. I hesitated before calling back. "Thank God." She answered immediately. "Are you okay? Ethan's telling everyone you're having some kind of breakdown." The words hit like a slap. "He's saying what?" I responded in shock. "He told Mom you've been working too hard and had some kind of episode at the party. He's painting himself as the concerned fiancé while you're supposedly taking space. Is any of that true?" "Oh," I said firmly, "Jenna. I saw him kissing Vanessa at the party. I have it recorded." There was a heavy silence before she replied. "That lying bastard. He told us Vanessa was just a colleague, his mentoring," I added. The mentoring included weekend trips to a cabin and jewelry from Tiffany's, plus some creative accounting with our joint finances. Jenna gasped. "Mom will be devastated. She adheres you." "I don't want to put you in the middle," I said. But I couldn't let you believe his version. Where are you staying? Do you need anything? I'm safe. That's all you need to know right now. But there's something you could do for me. Jenna agreed to be my eyes and ears, reporting Ethan's movements and narrative control attempts without directly confronting him as his sister. She had access to family gatherings and conversations I wouldn't otherwise know about. By day 3 of my disappearance, Ethan's concern had morphed into anger. According to Jenna, he'd started telling colleagues I was emotionally unstable and had abandoned him right before his partnership announcement. The firm put his partnership review on hold. Jenna reported during our daily call, citing personal issues affecting his judgment. Has he mentioned the financial discrepancies? I asked no, but he's suddenly very interested in who has access to the firm's billing records, and he keeps checking his personal bank accounts. Meanwhile, Bradford and Mercer had eagerly accepted my remote work proposal. I set up operations at Mears's beach house, a small property 2 hours from the city that few people knew about. The change of scenery helped clear my head as I dove into the new security contract. You're channeling all your detective skills into work, Maya observed during our video call. It's impressive and slightly terrifying. Focusing on digital security felt appropriate right now. I showed her my new workspace overlooking the ocean. How's the atmosphere at the office? I inquired. Tense. Ethan showed up yesterday looking for you. Security had to escort him out. My heart raced. Did he make a scene? Not exactly, but he wasn't his usual polished self. Rumpled suit. Missed a spot shaving. The perfect image is cracking. I pulled up my evidence board on the digital screen behind me. Any word on Vanessa? That's the interesting part. Maya leaned closer to her camera. She's distancing herself from Ethan professionally. Requested a different lawyer for the Bedford Tech account. Self-preservation, I noted. She's protecting her career. Oh, and the industry newsletter wants to feature you in their Rising Stars issue. The Bradford and Mercer contract is big news. I hadn't considered the professional attention my new contract would generate. The timing couldn't be better or worse, depending on your perspective. Should I decline? Absolutely not. Mir insisted. Your career shouldn't suffer because your fiancé couldn't keep his promises or his pants on. 2 weeks after the party, I finally reactivated my personal email to find 87 messages from Ethan. The subject lines evolved from concern, where are you, to anger, this is childish, to bargaining, please let me explain. The most recent simply read financial irregularities at the firm. I opened it cautiously. Olivia. The firm is conducting an audit. There are questions about client billing that I can't answer without your help. This could destroy my career. Whatever issues are between us, please don't let this be how it ends. He still didn't know I had documented everything before disappearing. The same day, Jenna called with news. The firm found financial discrepancies during their audit. They're questioning Ethan about expenses charged to client accounts. What kind of expenses? I asked, already knowing the answer. Weekend trips, jewelry purchases, dinners, all coincidentally aligned with dates he was supposedly working late. She paused. Olivia, did you report him? I didn't have to. I replied honestly. I simply secured copies of our financial records before I left. The firm's regular audit process did the rest. That evening my doorbell rang. Impossible since nobody knew where I was staying. Through a peephole I saw Maya holding takeout bags. Security breach, she announced when I opened the door, but I brought Thai food as a peace offering over dinner. She explained that Ethan had shown up at her apartment demanding information about my whereabouts. He was scary. Not violent, but intense in a way I've never seen before. I recorded the whole thing on my phone. He played the video. Ethan appeared disheveled, his usual polished and composed appearance replaced by someone I could barely recognize. His voice grew louder, becoming increasingly agitated as Mia calmly explained again and again that she couldn't assist him. She's ruining my life out of jealousy, Ethan shouted, his frustration boiling over. The firm is reconsidering my partnership track because of her sudden disappearing act. On the recording, Mia's steady voice cuts smoothly through his anger. Maybe she's not ruining anything at all. Then maybe Bradford and Mercer simply offered her your job. Ethan's face froze instantly on the screen. What are you talking about? The cybersecurity division director position. Maya replied evenly. The one you didn't even realize existed because you never bothered taking Olivia's career seriously. The recording ended abruptly with Ethan storming angrily out of the room. I stared at Mia in shock. There's no director position. I told her softly, still processing what I'd heard. Mia grinned knowingly. Of course there isn't. But his reaction says everything about how little attention he paid to your professional ambitions. The next morning, the industry newsletter published its special feature on digital forensics innovators. My photograph appearing prominently on the cover. The photographer had captured me standing at Maya's beach house looking confidently toward the ocean horizon. The article praised my professional achievements and in one brief sentence casually noted, Chin recently separated from her fiancé, attorney Ethan Walker, and is now focusing on expanding her professional portfolio, just a single line. Yet it announced clearly to the world that everything in my life had changed. By noon, my professional inbox overflowed with congratulatory messages and promising inquiries from potential clients. My personal phone remained silent except for a single text from Ethan. I see you've been busy advancing your career while mine implodes. We need to talk. I didn't respond. Instead, I continued building my new life. Case by case, day by day. Later that evening, a courier arrived at Maya's beach house with a small package. Inside was a velvet box containing an antique sapphire ring and a handwritten note from Ethan's mother. This belonged to my grandmother, she wrote. I always planned for you to have it. Regardless of what happens with Ethan, this ring belongs with someone who understands its true value. Ethan never did. Not with this ring and certainly not with you. Call me when you're ready. With love, Eleanor. The tears I'd held back for weeks finally fell. Not for what I'd lost but for the unexpected kindness reminding me of who I really was. A month after that fateful evening, I decided it was time to reclaim my space. The apartment I'd shared with Ethan had been my home for 3 years. My books filled its shelves, my plants brightened its windows, and my carefully installed security system guarded its doors. According to Jenna, Ethan still lived there, though he spent most evenings working late or out socializing with colleagues. I strategically chose a Tuesday afternoon for my return, timing it perfectly during Ethan's weekly squash game when I walked into the building's lobby. The doorman's surprised expression revealed that Ethan had never removed my name from the security list. Miss Chin, good to see you. Carlos recovered quickly. It's been a while. I'm just picking up a few things. Carlos, I explained, heading toward the elevator. Mr. Walker's upstairs. Carlos called after me. He called in sick today. My finger hovered above the elevator button. Ethan never missed squash. Even last year when he had the flu, he'd stubbornly gone to keep his perfect attendance record. Thanks for letting me know, I replied, recalibrating my approach. Still, I had every legal right to enter the apartment. My name was on the lease. My belongings were inside. And after weeks of avoiding confrontation, I was ready to face whatever waited behind that door during the elevator ride to the 14th floor. I mentally reviewed the evidence like a meticulous forensic specialist. Documented proof of Ethan's betrayal, secure finances, and a rapidly growing professional reputation. I was calm, collected, and fully prepared when the doors slid open. Walking confidently down the familiar hallway, I unlocked the apartment door. Instantly, I was enveloped by familiar scents. Lavender from my diffuser, coffee brewing from the kitchen, and Ethan's cologne, stronger than usual. I found him seated at the dining table, freshly showered, and wearing the blue button-down shirt I'd gifted him last Christmas. Papers were spread across the table, and he glanced up in apparent surprise as I entered. Olivia, Ethan said, quickly rising from his chair. Finally, the apartment looked suspiciously pristine, cleaner than Ethan typically kept it, with fresh flowers arranged deliberately on the coffee table. It was clearly staged for a reconciliation I had no intention of participating in. I'm just here to pick up my things, I said calmly, moving toward the bedroom. Ethan stepped in front of me. We need to talk first. No, we really don't, I replied firmly, attempting to sidestep him. I've been worried sick, Ethan said, softening his voice as though calming a troubled client. You vanished without a word. No one knew if you were safe. I told you I was safe, I answered, standing my ground. And I left because I saw you kissing Vanessa at the party. For a brief moment, Ethan's confident expression faltered. That was just a moment of weakness, a mistake, one meaningless kiss. I set my bag down firmly on the counter, turning to confront him directly. We both know it wasn't just one kiss or a single moment. Whatever you think you saw, he began. I didn't just see it, Ethan. I interrupted, I recorded it. His expression quickly shifted from confusion to careful calculation. The lawyer in him immediately weighing options for damage control. You recorded a private conversation without consent. That's potentially illegal in this state, he warned defensively. I couldn't suppress a laugh. That's really your response. Legal threats. I'm just pointing out. Let me show you exactly what I recorded, I said calmly, pulling out my phone. The sound of Ethan's voice echoed sharply through the apartment. She's brilliant with computers, but trusting to a fault, she believes whatever I tell her. Ethan's face paled noticeably as he watched the video unfold, himself passionately kissing Vanessa, casually planning their weekend at the cabin. When the recording ended, he immediately launched into damage control. It isn't what it looks like, he pleaded urgently. I was confused, overwhelmed. Work pressure, the partnership stress. Vanessa caught me at a vulnerable moment for 3 months straight. I retorted sharply, complete with planned cabin weekends and Tiffany jewelry. The room fell silent, the weight of his lies hanging heavily between us. In that moment, I felt a sense of clarity and strength I hadn't known in years. Ethan had underestimated me for the last time. And now, standing on my own terms, I knew I'd finally reclaimed the life that truly belonged to me. He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture I recognized from watching him prepare for difficult court arguments. The financial discrepancies can be explained. Those were just misfiled expenses, simple accounting errors, he asserted, repeating the explanation he had given to the partnership committee. How did that explanation hold up? I questioned. Anger flared across his face. They've put me on probation. All because of you. Because of me. I didn't make you charge personal expenses to client accounts. I counted as he accused me of leaking private financial details to them. Our personal business. I walked over to the bookshelf where I kept my treasured forensics textbooks. Before leaving, I had made sure to secure copies of my own financial records. What happened next was merely the natural consequence of his actions. He followed me, his voice softening as he tried a different approach. Lee, we can fix this. 5 years together means something. One mistake shouldn't erase everything we've built. I turned to face him properly for the first time since entering. The man I had loved for 5 years seemed diminished somehow. His charm now appeared rehearsed. His concern forced. How had I been blind to this? It wasn't just one mistake, I said quietly. It was hundreds of choices you made. Every time you texted her during our dinners, every weekend you lied about your whereabouts. Every night you came home reeking of her perfume, thinking I hadn't noticed. I never meant to hurt you, he said, reaching for my hand. I stepped back, maintaining distance. That's worse somehow. You didn't even consider my feelings enough to think they mattered in your decisions. As I began to pack my books, Ethan oscillated between anger and pleading, legal threats and nostalgic reminiscences. His performance was notable but futile. I packed only the irreplaceable items. Family photos, important documents, specialized equipment. Your career can recover from this. I told him, even as he lamented. The partnership committee put you on probation, not termination. Your family name still holds weight at the firm. The damage is done, he said bitterly. Everyone knows my fiancé walked out and took a job with our biggest competitor. I didn't take a job with them. I'm consulting on a specific project. I corrected him as he pulled something from his pocket. My engagement ring. I've been carrying this since that night, hoping you'd come back, he confessed. The sight of the ring stirred no emotions. It appeared as mere evidence now, not a symbol of love. Is there any chance for us? He asked, his voice filled with uncommon uncertainty. Instead of responding, I placed Eleanor's sapphire ring on the table between us. Your mother made her choice clear, I said as his face darkened, recognizing his grandmother's ring. She understands consequences better than you do. Just then, the apartment door swung open and Vanessa entered using a key I hadn't known she had. Her confident entrance faltered as she saw me. Oh, I didn't realize, she stammered, her gaze flitting between us. Ethan's face turned a deep shade of red. I thought you were coming later, he mumbled. An awkward silence enveloped the apartment as the reality set in. They had planned to meet here after I had left. I should go, Vanessa said, edging toward the door. Don't leave on my account, I stated calmly. I'm nearly done here, observing them together in what was once our shared apartment. I felt an unexpected emotion, not jealousy or anger, but pity. Their relationship founded on deception now seemed trivial and predictable. Vanessa hovered by the door. Ethan said you knew about us, that you had agreed to end things amicably. I raised an eyebrow at Ethan. Is that what he told you? He claimed you were focused on your career and accepted that relationships sometimes naturally conclude. The lies are almost commendable for their audacity. I remarked as Vanessa asked about my move to take a director position at Bradford and Mercer, her confidence faltering under my scrutinizing gaze. Ethan tried to intervene. This isn't a conversation we need to have right now, he said, his eyes darting nervously. On the contrary, I think it's precisely the conversation we need to have. I disagreed. Vanessa deserves to know what she's getting into. As I resumed packing, Vanessa began inquiring about the signs I had noticed, Ethan's financial explanations, his accounts of nights spent away. With each answer, her demeanor cooled, not towards me but towards Ethan. The partnership committee asked about the cabin expenses. She finally said, "You told me those were approved firm retreats." Ethan's professional facade crumbled completely. "Those were legitimate business discussions," he insisted. "Disgusted between which sheets?" I couldn't resist asking. Vanessa flinched, then straightened her shoulders. "Think I should leave?" Wait." Ethan called after her as she moved to the door. "Olivia is just trying to cause trouble between us." "I didn't cause anything," I replied, zipping my final bag. "I just provided information. What people do with it is their choice." As I prepared to leave with my essential belongings, Ethan made one last plea. "The partnership committee has asked me to take a leave of absence. My career is imploding because of this." His plea for sympathy was bold, almost admirable. "You might want to retain a good lawyer," I advised professionally, someone who specializes in professional ethics violations. At the door, I paused to look back at the apartment that had been my home, the life I had built and outgrown. Ethan stood in the center of the room, his once confident posture deflated. "How did you do it?" he asked quietly. "How did you just walk away from 5 years without looking back?" I met his gaze one final time, seeing not the man I had loved, but a stranger I was finally free from. "I learned from the best," I replied, referencing the countless times I watched him practice in our years together. The door clicked shut behind me, sealing the chapter with a soft but definitive sound of closure. In the elevator, a sense of liberation washed over me as I descended, leaving behind the tangled web of deceit as I made my way down to the lobby. I felt lighter than I had in years. Carlo nodded respectfully as I passed through with my bags. "Everything okay, Miss Chin?" he inquired. I responded with a smile. Genuine and spontaneous, surprising even myself. "Better than okay, Carlos. Much better." Outside, the city hummed with afternoon energy. I loaded my bags into a waiting car and didn't glance back at the building that had once felt like both a prison and a home. My phone buzzed with a message from Maya. "Mission accomplished." I sent back a simple reply. "Independence declared. Coming home." 6 months had passed since the night Ethan kissed Vanessa at the company party. Now seated in my new office, I reviewed security protocols for a financial tech startup. The wall of windows before me offered a panoramic view of the city skyline. A view I had earned through my own dedication rather than by association with someone else's success. The door to my office bore a simple plaque. Olivia Chin, Digital Forensics Consultancy. Starting my own firm had not been part of my original plan. But freedom has a way of expanding one's possibilities. The contract from Bradford and Mercer had led to referrals which blossomed into a specialized practice focusing on relationship-based fraud cases. My personal experiences had unexpectedly transformed into professional expertise. My assistant Alex knocked lightly before entering. "The conference schedule just arrived," he said, placing the program on my desk. "You're scheduled for the 10:00 a.m. keynote on Friday. Ethan's panel appears to have been cancelled." I glanced at the industry conference program where both Ethan and I had been invited to speak. His name was now crossed out with thrilling conflict noted beside it. "Any word on why?" I asked, keeping my tone neutral. "Professional gossip says the Bar Association investigation is heating up," Alex replied. "Apparently they're questioning more than just expense accounts now." I nodded, neither celebrating nor lamenting this development. The consequences of Ethan's actions continued to unfold without my involvement. Exactly as they should. My phone lit up with a text from Maya, who had become my firm's cybersecurity specialist. "Lunch delivery arriving in 10. Also, got the wedding invitation today. +1. I smiled, thinking about our mutual friend's upcoming wedding 6 months ago. The thought of attending a celebration of love would have been unbearable. Now it felt possible, even welcome. "Absolutely. +1, I replied. "We'll dazzle them with our independence." As promised, lunch arrived shortly. A spread of sushi from our favorite place. Maya joined me in my office, kicking off her heels as she settled into the comfortable client chair. "I heard something interesting through the industry grapevine," she said, mixing wasabi into her soy sauce. "Vanessa Chin is interviewing for positions in Seattle. That's quite a move, I noted. Apparently, the Bedford Tech connection has become professionally complicated. Mir explained, too many questions about her relationship with former legal counsel. I considered this information without the surge of emotion it would have once provoked. Career self-preservation seems to be her specialty. I amused. Speaking of specialty, Maya continued, your relationship fraud detection webinar has over 500 registrations already. People are connecting with your approach. The webinar series had started as a one-time educational session, but quickly evolved into something more. Combining forensic techniques with emotional intelligence created a unique methodology for detecting deception in both personal and professional relationships. Strange how things work out. I amused. Everything I learned from Ethan's betrayal has become valuable to others. You've transformed pain into purpose. Mayer agreed. A classic Olivia move. After lunch, I reviewed my presentation for the upcoming conference. The Digital Forensics Annual Summit was the industry's premier event. And my keynote on pattern recognition in relationship deception represented a career pinnacle. As I fine-tuned my slides, an email notification appeared on my screen from Daniel Harrison. Conference planning. Daniel was a respected colleague I'd known peripherally for years. Our paths had crossed occasionally at professional events, but we'd reconnected meaningfully at a cybersecurity workshop 3 months ago. Looking forward to your keynote, his email read. Any chance you'd consider joining me for dinner Thursday night? Strictly professional, of course, but I'd value your perspective on the Westlake case. The Westlake case involved complex digital evidence in a corporate espionage investigation. Daniel's firm had been handling the technical aspects, while my consultancy managed the human intelligence component. Our collaboration had been productive and refreshingly straightforward. I found myself smiling as I typed my response. Dinner sounds perfect. I have thoughts about the email timestamps that might interest you. Our professional relationship had developed naturally over shared work. Unlike Ethan, Daniel respected my expertise without competition or condescension. Whether it might evolve beyond professional collaboration remained to be seen, but the possibility no longer frightened me. The conference arrived faster than expected. The hotel ballroom buzzed with industry professionals as I prepared backstage for my keynote. Through the curtain, I could see hundreds of seats filling with colleagues, competitors, and potential clients. My name displayed on the massive screen alongside my firm's logo. A phoenix rising from binary code. 5 minutes. Miss Chin, the event coordinator, announced. I smoothed down my blue dress and checked my notes one final time. The presentation represented not just my professional knowledge, but my personal journey from betrayal to reconstruction. Parts of it felt vulnerable to share, but that vulnerability had become my strength as I waited to be introduced. A familiar figure approached from the side hallway. Ethan looked thinner than when I'd last seen him, his designer suit hanging slightly loose at the shoulders. He still carried himself with practiced confidence, but the edges had softened. Olivia, he said, stopping a respectful distance away. I heard your talk was sold out, Ethan. I acknowledged, neither warm nor cold. I thought your panel was cancelled. It was, he shifted uncomfortably. I'm just here for meetings with potential clients. Smaller firms starting over. I nodded, understanding the unspoken reality. The partnership track at his prestigious firm had derailed completely, forcing him to restart at a lower-tier practice. I'm sorry about how everything happened, he said after a pause. Not just getting caught, but what I did, who I became. The apology sounded different from his earlier attempts. No excuses, no expectations, just a simple acknowledgement of wrongdoing. For the first time, I saw a glimpse of genuine regret in his eyes. Thank you for saying that, I replied simply. We stood in an awkward silence until the coordinator returned. 1 minute, Miss Chin, Ethan gestured toward the stage. I won't keep you. Just wanted to say I've seen the work you're doing. It's impressive. As he turned to leave, I felt an unexpected sense of completion. Not forgiveness exactly, but a closing of a chapter that had once defined us both. He and I called softly. He turned back. I hope you find what you're looking for. He nodded once, understanding the sentiment wasn't reconciliation but release. Good luck out there. My keynote speech received a standing ovation. Speaking honestly about using forensic techniques to detect relationship deception without specifically mentioning Ethan resonated with the audience in ways I hadn't anticipated. People approached afterward with their own stories of betrayal and recovery, seeking both professional advice and personal connection. At the reception that evening, I spotted Daniel at the bar, his tall frame easy to distinguish in the crowd. He waved, holding up 2 glasses of champagne. As I approached, he said, "That was remarkable. You managed to blend technical expertise with emotional intelligence in a way that actually matters to people." "Thank you," I replied, genuinely appreciative of the specific compliment. "It's been a journey figuring out how to transform personal experience into professional methodology. The best expertise often comes from our own challenges," he observed. We found a quiet corner to discuss the Westlake case, our conversation flowing easily between professional analysis and personal anecdotes. His respect for boundaries and genuine interest in my perspective felt refreshingly healthy. My phone buzzed with a text notification. Expecting Maya, I was surprised to see an unknown number. "Where you know?" The question seemed loaded with implication, possibly from Ethan using a new number. Instead of ignoring it or responding with anger, I looked around the reception hall filled with colleagues who respected my work. I glanced at Daniel, who was patiently waiting without pressuring me to end my phone check. I thought about my thriving consultancy and the keynote speech that had brought me professional recognition beyond anything I'd imagined a year ago. I typed back exactly where I'm supposed to be. Setting my phone down, I returned my attention to Daniel and our conversation about digital timestamps and evidence chains. When he mentioned his favorite hiking trail outside the city, I found myself genuinely interested. "Maybe we could check it out sometime," he suggested casually. "The view from Eagle Point is worth the climb." "I'd like that," I replied honestly. Later that night in my hotel room, I stood by the window looking out at the city lights. On the desk lay a small box containing a ring I'd bought myself when my consultancy celebrated its first quarterly profit. Not an engagement ring, but a promise to myself that I would never again compromise my worth for someone else's convenience. I slipped it onto my right hand, the sapphire catching the light from the window. The stone reminded me of Eleanor's kindness and wisdom in the midst of chaos. I made a mental note to call her tomorrow. Our monthly lunch was overdue. My reflection in the window looked back at me, calm and confident in a way that had nothing to do with who loved me and everything to do with how I'd chosen to love myself. The betrayal that was meant to break me had instead revealed my strength, transforming pain into purpose and loss into liberation. Tomorrow I would present my second workshop of the conference. Tonight I would sleep peacefully in the knowledge that I had rebuilt not just my life but my very understanding of what that life could be. Not defined by someone else's choices but constructed carefully by my own. The journey from that party 6 months ago to this moment hadn't been easy or straight. It had required strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and the courage to walk away from what no longer served me. But standing here now, I recognize that Ethan's kiss hadn't ended my story. It had finally allowed the real one to begin. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.